Okay. I know last year I did a video on the requirements for homeschooling in the state of Georgia. I ended up getting a lot of questions about that because every state is a little different as far as what's required and who you report to and what has to be sent in. Georgia is very relaxed compared to some of the other states. The first step is filing your declaration of intent, which I've already done for the year. As long as you have it done within 30 days of the start of your homeschool or by September, give me a second, I don't want to tell you the wrong information. September 1st, you're supposed to file it by September 1st. I go ahead and do it early because that way I don't have to forget about it. The requirements beyond that: you have to have a high school diploma, GED. You don't have to have a teaching degree. You don't have to have a bachelor's. No college education required to homeschool your kids. Don't let people tell you that you have to have a degree to teach your kids. It's not true. I do have a bachelor's degree, however, so it wouldn't matter either way. While you are responsible for making sure your kid is homeschooled, you can have someone else teach them. You are allowed to hire a tutor. Basically, this just means if somebody else is going to teach your kids, pay them somehow. Even if you give them a cookie, you got paid a cookie. It's good. Work it out somehow. Really easy. You have to complete the equivalent of 100. Yes. In a minute. Sorry. You have to complete the equivalent of 180 4.5-hour days. This does not mean that your school day has to be 4.5 hours. It does not mean that you have to do 180 days of school. It's the hour equivalent. I'm not good at math, so I'm not going to tell you what 180 times 4.5 is, but you get the idea. If you go on a trip, on a field trip, and your kids are learning stuff for 6 hours, it's 6 hours. Okay? If you have a day and they only work 2 hours, it's 2 hours. But those 2 days put together is close to your, 2 days worth of school. So you get the idea. Just make it mash out and equal in the end, and you're good. You're golden. You are required to teach English, math, and English includes like the grammar and all of that, and reading. Okay? I just count it all in English because to me it's all English. They're required English, math, science, and social studies, which is your history, geography, that kind of stuff all mashed into one. We go way above and beyond that because we are artsy people. We do art, music, foreign language. I want to make sure they are rounded and learning all kinds of stuff so that they can find out where their interests are. Because their interests might not be history, might not be science, definitely isn't math. At the end of the year, you should do some type of progress report. There's not a whole lot of specific requirements. Basically, what I do is I outline what curriculum we used, how much of it we got done, kind of explain how well the kids did. If you keep test scores or quiz scores or grades of any kind, it goes in your report. Your attendance goes in your report. I include a list of field trips because I keep a list of field trips, so it goes in my report. I also take examples from their work. So if I had them write a paper during the year, excuse me again. Yes.
It says I don't have Wi-Fi, but like 3 minutes
Okay,
ago I did.
I can't deal with that right now. You're gonna have to wait a minute. Sorry, again. Kids, you know? Where was I? Oh, I keep an example of like their artwork, essay they've written. I think I threw a couple of French worksheets. Just basically an example of the work that they did that year. I cram it in a large manila envelope, write their name and the year on it, and I stick that with my teacher's binder. Or last year it was my Erin Condren planner. Stick all of that together, wrap it up with string or a rubber band or something, and stick it away. You don't have to turn them into anybody. You just need to keep it on file in case you've got some nosy neighbor that reports you and says, they're not teaching their kids. Cover your own behind kind of thing. That's all it's for. The other thing is testing. You're required to do a standardized test every 3 years, starting with 3rd grade. And that it gets confusing because my kids started in public school, so they had testing. I didn't have to do it 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th, because they had it in an off year. So they say 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th if you start homeschooling. So Little Bear, he's not going to public school at all, ever. So he will test 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th. My other two are kind of on an off schedule because of the testing that they had prior to homeschooling. This year, this upcoming year, 2017, 2018, probably at the end of our school year, I will test my 2 older kids. It's not a required year, but the reason I'm doing it is because with Sister Bear being where she is, prior to putting her in high school level classes, I want to test her and make sure that she's ready for it. At the same time, if I go ahead and test Brother Bear this year, then when it comes time for him to test again, both of the boys will be testing in the same time. And then I will actually be testing Sister Bear 2 years. Because if I put her in high school, wonky timing. Plenty of different options for testing. Some of them require you to have a bachelor's degree, some of them don't. Make sure you check that out when you pick your test. Since I have a bachelor's degree, we're probably going to use the Iowas this upcoming year, just because of the ease of use for us. All right?